Hey loves, it's Isha. In this video, I'm doing a totally no foundation makeup look, and if you're not fond of using foundation or afraid to use one because you're only starting makeup, then this video is for you. So first off, I'll be moisturizing my face, and I'm using what I think is more than enough for my whole face para magmukha talagang hydrated yung face ko. Next is I'll be priming my face with a silicone primer, and I recommend using a primer like this one or anything na nagbo-blur out ng pores nyo para magmukhang skin-like or flawless yung finish nung look. For spot concealing, gagamitin ko tong concealer and i-apply ko lang siya sa acne marks and acne para ma-cover up sila. To blend them out, gagamitin ko lang yung fingers ko. For my brows, I'll be using this brow pen by Maybelline and finifill in ko lang yung brows ko by drawing hair-like strokes para magmukhang natural looking yung finish ng brows ko. Once I'm satisfied with how it looks, i-blend ko lang siya using a spoolie brush. For concealing my under eyes, I'll be using this full coverage concealer by L'Oreal. Ia-apply ko lang siya in dots on my under eyes to make sure na hindi masosobrahan yung pag-apply ng concealer. And then, i-blend ko lang yung concealer using damp sponge. I also make sure that I blend the concealer towards my eyelid so that it will serve as my eyeshadow primer as well. I'll also apply the same concealer to my forehead, nose, and chin para ma-highlight itong T-zone area ko. And then, i-blend ko lang ulit siya. For reverse contouring, I'll be using this concealer and i-apply ko lang siya sa hollow ng cheeks ko. And then, if I'm satisfied now with my application, i-blend ko lang siya with a damp sponge. For contouring my nose, I'll be using this contour stick and i-apply ko lang siya sa nose ko using a small angled brush. Then, I'll just draw the contour lines along my nose and I make sure na i-connect ko yung contour lines na yon to my brows. Then, i-blend ko lang yung contour ko using the shorter edge of the damp sponge. I also make sure that as I'm blending it, I don't drag the sponge sidewards. As you can see, I'm blending it just along the contour lines, and this is how I ensure that my nose is not gonna look muddy. For setting my nose, I'm gonna use the banana powder in this palette and gagamitan ko lang siya ng small kabuki brush in applying it. I do this para mas blended and more natural looking yung finish ng contour. Now, I'm gonna use this color tint to bronze my face. Ang ginawa ko dito is, naglagay muna ako ng product sa backhand ko and then tsaka ko i-dip yung angled brush before applying it to my face. When I think na nasobrahan yung product sa pag-apply ko, patuloy ko pa rin siyang i-blend. I'll also bronze my forehead and yung temples ko. Yung natirang product sa brush ko, gagamitin ko naman siya as eyeshadow. To set my under eyes, I'm gonna use the banana powder in this palette and gagamit lang ako ng small kabuki brush in applying it. I am also setting the rest of my face. To moisturize my lips, I'll be using this balm, and this is to make sure that when I apply the main lip product, hindi magiging dry yung lips ko. I'll be using this tint again as my eyeshadow, and i-blend ko lang siya sa lids ko using a blending brush. Kulang pa kasi yung eyeshadow na in-apply ko kanina, and I think this is to give my lids a bit more color. Then, I'm curling my lashes before applying mascara. In applying this, I'm just starting off at the base of my lashes and then wiggle it upwards. Lalagyan ko lang din ng konting mascara yung lower lashes ko. For my highlighter, I'll be using the same palette and I'll be using this subtle shade here. And I'll just apply it on the high points of my cheekbones, nose, cupid's bow, and a little bit on my brow bone as well. Now for the final touch, I'll be using this tint in Ocean. And I really like this shade kasi it's just a nice nude brown shade na perfect for my look today. So here's the before, and this is the final look. If you've reached this part of the video, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next one. Au revoir mes amours!